Well, Christina, our next guest is Mike McCormick, author, and worked at the White House for a number of years. Welcome to the Concerted Command Radio Show. Mike,
Thanks, JD.
You are an author, and you got some breaking news, I think, for us. And listen up, Concerted Commandos. But first, let's talk about this book. Take it away.
This is a book I self-published last spring. It's about my tenure as a White House stenographer, 15 years of deplorable. And I started in 2002, worked with Bush and President Bush and Vice President Cheney. And then I left for a few years and then came back in the early years of the Obama administration, 2010, through the first year of President Trump's presidency.
Wow.
Worked with Vice President Mike Pence particularly well.
Yes.
I was assigned to him when he first came in. He did some great things. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
And what I can tell you is, so the book I wrote is very interesting. It's got a lot of behind-the-scenes interactions between the press, which it is evidence of how the press is biased.
Yes.
It's sitting right in the book.
It's right there.
And then there's also, you see the progression of why America came to distrust our politicians and elect Donald Trump because he was the alternative that we all needed to hear from.
Oh, he came in with a knight on, a white horse that we badly have needed.
Yeah, talk about in the midnight hour, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
So you wrote this book, and you were part of the deplorables. I mean, you were there when Hillary coined the phrase.
I was there when Hillary coined the phrase. I was working for Hillary when she coined the phrase, and I didn't know.
Wow.
I liked Trump. The first time I saw Donald Trump speak was August of 2015. He had just come out, and my older brother, it's in the book, was saying, "You got to hear this guy." And I was like, "He's a businessman. He doesn't have a chance." As soon as I heard him speak, I was convinced that he would be the president, and I never lost that conviction for the entire time.
Wow.
And I'm listening to everybody around me in the White House, the Obama people, Team Obama, the media, downgrading this guy, denigrating him at every utterance, and I just would keep my mouth shut. And finally, Hillary came out with they're a batch of deplorables, and at that time, because I was working for Joe Biden,
Sure.
I was a deplorable, and I was like, well, I'm working for Hillary, but I'm a deplorable, and that's why the title of the book is 15 Years of Deplorable.
Now, you've done a little bit of research for your book. You've got a new one coming out on Biden.
Got a new one about Joe Biden. It's
Wow.
not going to look good for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I got a poem. The rain in Ukraine is falling on your head. Your presidential campaign is sinking like lead.
That's good.
I love that.
Right? That's
good.
exactly. That's for Joe.
There you go.
The rain in Ukraine is falling on your head. Your presidential campaign is sinking like lead.
Wow.
And the reason I say that is I've been writing my personal memoir of being his stenographer. And there are things that I saw behind the scenes that weren't reported.
Sure.
And I mean, that was a big reason why I knew Donald Trump was going to win, because Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden in the early Obama years are promoting this Russian reset.
Yes.
And what I saw didn't exist.
Yeah.
I was literally in the room with Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin made him look ridiculous. He just embarrassed him publicly, and no one in America heard about it.
Wow.
And that's what I saw, and that's what's in that Joe Biden book. So then further, I started looking at things that we did in China. Well, I was over there with Joe Biden. China's big now because it sounds like Donald Trump has done a preliminary deal with China, which may work out really well for Americans, for American manufacturing, American farmers. I saw him last night in Louisiana talking about it.
Yes.
That's right.
Did a great
First phase.
Yeah, he did a great performance there with the Little League kids on the stage. I mean, that's Donald Trump.
They flew on Air Force One.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great president.
Yeah. Well, little kids, and of course he played baseball at military academy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the military school, and so they kids, I bet their eyes were that big.
That's right. I mean, that was fantastic. That's an American president brings the World Series Little League champions on his plane and brings them up on stage. I mean, that's just Americana at its best, right?
Yes.
And so that's why one of the reasons we love Donald Trump. So
yes, we do.
But he was talking about this China deal, and so back to China. I was in China with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden doesn't have a clue about China. He can't move China the way Donald Trump does.
Yeah, but what about his son? What about the corruption?
Well, so that's in there too. I was on the trip when Hunter Biden went into China on his dad's plane, and I didn't have anything to do with it. I've read the reporting. Peter Schweitzer wrote a great book on it.
We've had him on the show.
And he did a great turn for America by pulling that out. I didn't know how involved any of those guys were until I read his book. My position was sort of just keeping track of what was happening right in front of me then and there.
Yeah.
So I was on the trip. Hunter Biden was on the trip. He was there with his daughter, and he went and did business, and Peter Schweitzer did a great job reporting it. But later, not much later, Joe Biden started going to Ukraine. And the thing that I write about in the new Joe Biden book is a chapter. I put an excerpt on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's an excerpt as an ebook. You can buy it for $2.99, or if you're an Amazon Kindle Select person, you can get it for free.
Well, this is hot news. What's the name of it?
It's called Joe Biden Unauthorized, a White House memoir. It's on Amazon. It's about 25 pages, and it's
Mike McCormick. They can just look up your name.
That's so you can look up Mike McCormick, McCormick, like the spice company.
Yeah.
And what you can read is Joe Biden says that he was not involved in his son's business dealings in Ukraine. He was. There was a meeting. So I started looking through White House visitor logs. They put them on the Obama White House website. And it was Peter Schweitzer's book who pointed me to that.
Yes.
He said April 16th, there was a meeting in the White House with Devin Archer, who was Hunter Biden's business associate, and Vice President Biden. So I looked on the visitor logs, and they had sort of X'd out the dates and the times when people were showing in. But what I did was I did a search for April 16th, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all these X's that April 16th is turning up, and as I ran my cursor over it, I could see the date and the time. So on April 16th, Vice President Biden had a breakfast meeting.
What year?
2014. Thank you.
Yes.
April 16th, 2014, the beginning of the association with Joe Biden in Ukraine, before his first trip there.
Okay.
And he has a business meeting with David Axelrod at the Vice President's residence, 7:30 in the morning. That's in my book. This is the first time David Axelrod's name has been in it.
Wow.
So then 4 hours later, at 11:30, Devin Archer gets entry into the White House West Wing Vice President's office, for the Office of Vice President. Yes. And the thing is, Hunter Biden could have been at either of those meetings and not show up on the White House visitor logs. Because at the time, he's a Secret Service, he's got a detail. So they don't go in and out of the White House with a badge swipe.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's got a pin, he's got a family member pin, so they would bring him in, or he would drive in on his own vehicle, and they would just wave him in. So he doesn't have. He could have been at either of those meetings. Joe Biden has always said, "I had known nothing about my son's involvement in his business." On April 18th, in Peter Schweitzer's book and other reporting. That's when Burisma Holdings began sending money to Hunter Biden and Devin Archer's company, Rosemont Partners. They started sending money because they were named on the board. Now they didn't put the press announcement of their joining the board of Burisma Holdings until May 2014. So officially in May 2014. So April 18th, money starts flowing. On or about April 18th, money starts flowing. Taxpayer money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So Joe Biden goes over there on April 22nd. I'm on the plane with him to Ukraine. And they're talking about, we're going to do we've got an aid package. That's American taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
For Ukraine's natural gas industry. And there are teams coming. Who are the teams? Who are the teams?
Wow.
Who are the teams, Joe?
Yes.
Who are the teams? Is he talking about Hunter Biden?
Yes.
And then he starts saying, and I'm making calls to all the countries around here to promote Ukraine's natural gas industry because this is important for Ukrainian security, which is true. Joe Biden had been promoting Ukrainian natural gas industry since 2009. His first trip there, he did a speech and he's talking about we need to improve your natural gas industry. So that's what he did. He put his son in on the deal.
We're coming up on a hard commercial break. Can you hang with us?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, this is Mike McCormick, author of 15 Years of Deplorable, and we've got news on the Bidens. So stay with us.
Breaking news, everybody.
Have you been leasing a property for your business or renting storage space? Are you tired of paying rent year after year? Call the experts at General Steel to own a building at up to 30% off now.
I'd been renting a building and paying someone else's mortgage, but General Steel showed me how I could own a space tailored to the needs of my business and for less than renting.
Call General Steel now at the number on your screen for our current building specials and to price your metal building system today.
My building's the dream I've had since finishing my house 14 years ago. I've been using it for a garage, workshop, and storage area for my tools and equipment, and I can't believe how great it turned out.
The economy is improving and the price of steel is expected to rise. Stop waiting. It could cost you thousands. Call General Steel now to see how you can own for less than you thought. Stop waiting to start your business or expand your operation. Call General Steel now.
Call 877-484-7002.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
AM/FM 24/7 Roku channel broadcasts all of our shows on demand. To ensure reliability, we store and stream our content on the same servers as Netflix and Amazon. Our Roku channel is free to use, and anyone owning one of the more than 10 million Roku devices can watch our channel at no cost whatsoever. If you have a television show or are thinking about producing a show, you can be a part of AM/FM 24/7's Roku channel. Watch our great shows on your Roku device. It's free and more reliable than cable TV. Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is, there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to BuyYourTimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. BuyYourTimeshare.com. That's BuyYourTimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Christina, we're back with Mike McCormick, author, and a new book on the Bidens, and I know we were just talking before the commercial break about that. Please finish that thought. That's hot news.
Yes, it is. It's better than the movie.
Take it away, Mike.
So, Joe Biden has answers. There's no way that Donald Trump should be investigated or face any kind of impeachment inquiry without Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, David Axelrod, and Devin Archer getting out in front of the media and answering questions.
And the
questions.
Senate.
And the Senate.
Yes.
I mean, there is no way any reasonable Democrat could vote for that, knowing that those questions are out there. They're outstanding.
Yeah.
And they can't go forward with an impeachment inquiry. They just can't. This has to put a hard stop on it.
Wow.
Nancy Pelosi she's not going to stick her neck out for Hunter Biden, would she?
I would think not.
I don't think
Now,
so.
Constitutionally, and it has happened, you can impeach after someone's out of office.
Oh.
So it could end up being a flip. They go in to impeach Trump, and they end up impeaching Biden.
They could do that.
Honestly, with the information
Can you
have,
impeach a vice president?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
I believe so. Now we got to look that one up.
We'll definitely.
Yeah.
We'll verify
But you can
that.
you can also you can impeach a court.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
judge.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Whoa.
Interesting. Wow. There you go.
This is huge. But there's our answer to Hunter. You know, there's such a big thing, and they're even doing
The president was asking, "Where's
Hunter?"
That's right.
Well, now you were telling us where Hunter is and where he could be found.
Right.
How about that one?
The hunt for Hunter.
I
That's
like
right.
that. That's good.
That's right. He needs to
Yes.
answer.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
We got a few more minutes. You know, we're from Indiana, Christina and I, and you had some great moments with our Vice President, Mike Pence.
Yes.
I think Mike Pence is the smartest vice president I worked for. I worked for Dick Cheney, smart guy. Mike Pence is I think he's just more personable in his communications. Dick Cheney was a little reserved in the way he did his business. And Joe Biden was, as much as he was a communicator, he was all over the board and very undisciplined. But Mike Pence is a disciplined communicator. He's a smart guy. He does a great job. He had a great trip to South Korea on Easter 2017 that I think changed the way the whole dynamics of the Korean Peninsula negotiations went, because that's when they got the THAAD missile batteries into South Korea. They've been trying to do that for years.
Yes.
Obama came out in 2016 in the summer and said, we'll get THAAD batteries in there, but he didn't say when.
Yeah, that's truth.
Donald Trump and Mike Pence got elected, and they got those things in there within months. And that's how you get things done.
Well, President Trump and Pence just put him into Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Just in the last few days.
Right.
Big deal. And that speaks volumes. And Little Rocket Man, he knew that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It changed the way the whole structure of the negotiations went. And I listened to George W. Bush talk about the Korean leader. It was Kim Jong-il's dad at the time.
Yeah.
Same kind of guy. And he just couldn't stomach even being, it sounded like he just couldn't stomach what that guy was doing to his people at a level where he could even meet with them or talk to them.
Wow.
And then Obama would go over there and, you'd see the pictures of him hiding behind the sandbags in the bunker. And I did a trip with Joe Biden to the DMZ in South Korea and watched him watch through the binoculars of the North Koreans, and Trump goes walking in there.
He walks across the line.
And that video of him walking in there gets played back into North Korea, and all of a sudden their siege mentality has to be pulled back because they've got pictures of their dear leader shaking hands with American president in their country. So they can't really say, well, we need all these missiles for defense because they're coming to get us.
Yes.
Because he's coming with an open hands.
Well,
he's coming in peace.
And
right.
hope.
And hope.
Right.
That's right.
And
That's
pictures, the Vietnam War, we'll never forget the pictures of the Vietnam War. But the same thing with peace and the peace effort. Those pictures are touching that peninsula in dramatic ways.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, but President Trump understands video. He understands the power of video communications better than anybody ahead of him, on a personal level.
Yes. Well,
so I'll tell you a quick President Trump thing. The President Trump and the media, he has them boxed in. I write about that in my book, 15 Years of Deplorable.
I love that.
But I worked at the edge of the media in the White House for about 15 years, and when Trump came in, they were livid. They didn't get him. They didn't understand him.
Yeah.
He had basically come up from nowhere underneath their very noses. They missed the big story of their political lives.
Yes.
Missed it.
Yeah.
In the history of our country.
And they just still can't come to terms with that.
Right.
And so, but what he's done is he's now taken the White House briefing room and turned it into a ghost town. I mean, I talked to some friends who were reporters in there the other day, and they're like, "There's nothing going on here anymore. We don't do anything
because they don't behave.
They don't behave." And but what Trump does is he has more access to them than either President Obama or President Bush ever had, because they go out and get question and answer with him constantly.
Yeah.
And he's always there, and he's saying it right to their face. Hey, come on, I'll answer. Da, 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 da. And they can't walk away from that access, so they can complain about, not having their face on the camera. But that's what he's done to them.
Yes.
Well, they come up with talking points, the media and the Democrats, each morning. But Trump's tweets trump the talking points.
Oh yeah.
On a daily, hourly basis.
That's right. Yeah. And they have to cover the tweets. Right. So they're like, well, they can't not cover the tweets. So he's got them over a barrel, and he is running that show like they've never been run. It's really impressive.
Wow.
Well, he doesn't back down. And the Bushes were incredible, but they were kind of Victorian.
Right.
And they had civility. That was supposed to be the decorum throughout the White House.
Yeah.
But that's not where we are today.
No. And that's in the book. That's in my 15 Years of Deplorable book. The reason for that shift, where it came from.
Yeah.
And it's both sides are responsible. I mean, we have to be. If you're an American, and you may have middle of the road people. I'm a registered independent. Both sides have to look at their hand in where the divisiveness in our country is, and say, okay, maybe we got to pull back a little bit on the intensity. But I mean, as far as what President Trump does, as hard as he gets it, he gives it back, and he's going to continue doing that. That's what he has to do. That's how he's going to get reelected.
Right.
He will get reelected. I think it's going to be a very close race.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to understand they got to get out there and work for President Trump.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Volunteer.
Yes.
I have stuff in my book about my brothers volunteering in 2016. And the thing was, it was historical. It's a chance to be a part of history. You're going to volunteer for President Trump, you're going to be a part of history. And that's something that you want to tell your grandkids about.
You do. And the fake news, levels of just total lying. I mean, we had the Dan Rather under Bush.
Right.
But it's just every day.
Right.
The stuff they're making up, we never, it's beyond the pale. And I know you've been in the White House, you've seen the news and the press, but you can't fact check enough.
Right.
You've seen all that. So for such a time as this, President Trump is on top of it.
Right.
And talk a little bit more about. I mean, you need to do another book after Biden. I mean, this is tremendous.
I may do another book after Biden. Yes.
Yeah.
Just sort of on general stuff. I spent some time in Iraq with Vice President Cheney and Vice President Biden. And in the book, I talk about travel to Iraq and how that war has devolved. So right now, Iraq is back in the news because you have the Kurds.
Yeah,
right.
I went to Kurdistan, Erbil, twice with Vice President Biden. The first time was right after the cessation of hostilities. It wasn't really a cessation of hostilities.
No.
And they did that so terribly. And so then in 2016 we went back, and it was like going into it was the most dangerous White House trip I've ever taken. And I took one with Cheney in 2005 when the war was raging. We went into Baghdad, and it wasn't.
Were you on the plane with Trump when he said they took the lights off to land in Baghdad?
I wasn't. I've never been on the plane with the president going into Iraq.
Okay.
Neither Bush nor Trump. But
Okay.
they do that when they go into land in Baghdad. They turn off the lights.
They have to for security.
And they do this circular flight path.
safety.
And
Yeah.
you know, I'm just sitting in the middle of the plane going, and it's a C-17, which if you've ever flown on a C-17, you just have to marvel at American technology and know-how, because it's an amazing plane to fly on. They're slow, but they're amazing.
We're wrapping up. It's been a fabulous interview with you, Mike.
Great.
Please give us some closing thoughts.
Yes.
Trust Donald Trump. He is the voice of the people. He's going to get reelected, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. And America is great again under his leadership.
And how do we get your books one more time?
This book.
Book is on Amazon. You can order on Amazon. You can order it through my website, www.15yearsdeplorable.com.
Thank you for coming on Sir Command Radio Show, Mike.
Thanks, JD.
Our privilege.
Thanks, Christine.